Before we get started with today's show, I just want to remind you that you can save 10% on your order with Symphony of Balloons, a luxury balloon company that also offers a 360 camera. Just simply mention you heard about them on Breaking Through Glass Ceilings. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this episode of Breaking Through Glass Ceilings. I'm your host, Brian H. Waters. This show, of course, is brought to you by B. Waters Productions. Folks, first and foremost, how y'all doing? Thank you for joining me. If you haven't done so, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, hit the likes. Or you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I want to see how many people gonna dislike this episode. Y'all might dislike this one, as you can see in the thumbnail. I'm just keeping it real because I got some facts for y'all and things y'all might not like to hear. But let's get right into it. Last week, I said that I said simply the Ravens were screwed out of the Super Bowl, right? I told y'all. I said the NFL needed Taylor Swift, and people did not like what I had to say. They told me I was crazy. I heard it all. I heard that, I think I'm too much about wrestling. It's not possible. Then I heard people even say manipulation. Well, folks, let me ask you something. Y'all watched the same game that I did. If you're a football fan, wasn't there a time where you felt that the 49ers could have put the game away, that they should have kept running the football, but they went away from that? I'm just saying. Well, got some numbers for you. 123.4. 123.4 million people watch the Super Bowl. That set the record for the most watched TV broadcast in the United States. Yes, the most watched broadcast, 123.4 million viewers. For rating sakes, that is 123.4. Now, back during the day of I'm going to speak in my terms, the wrestling age, the attitude era, right? If you hit a 5, you were doing well. You know what I mean? Um, the ratings when they were, measuring viewership and they were going back and forth, they were hitting like 8s. That was 8 million people watching, right? So that's just some perspective. 8 million. Now we're talking 123 million people watching one thing. And even even Bean Sports USA says Chiefs and Taylor Swift Super Bowl sets record. Y'all might not like that. Y'all not gonna like it, but Taylor Swift set the Super Bowl record. Now, I was one to say that she didn't. The NFL just needed her to be there. They didn't need the Chiefs to win, but I was wrong because they rolled out into a happy love story. Her and Travis, I was about to say Travis Taylor, Travis Kelsey, who I used to, respect a lot or whatever. But after the whole thing, kicking Justin Tucker's helmet and all that stuff, nah, fam, that didn't sit right with me. It's one-upsmanship, it's gamesmanship. All right. Well, I have a right as a football fan and a Ravens fan to not root against them. But, I got to say, shout out. You saw the picture of Roger Goodell walking in the booth. I mean, in the wishing, and I simply put the tweet at Brian H. Waters. Thank you, Taylor Swift, for the ratings. That's what I simply put, I said, thank you, Taylor Swift, for the ratings, because that's exactly what it was, you know. So that's how I feel as we move forward. I feel like the NFL got their wish. Taylor Swift and Roger Goodell and the Chiefs, they are your champions. So guess what? Congratulations to the NFL. Congratulations to the Chiefs. Most importantly, thank you, Taylor Swift. You brought a lot of ratings. So that's all I have to say about that. Y'all won't like what I had to say. You won't like it at all, but it is what it is. Um, let's move on because guess what? The second part, Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe seems to be in the media again. A lot of people have been going back and forth. You know, he had Monique on the show and she aired out her grievances. Now, I have to be honest, not just because she's from Baltimore, but I have to be honest. I watched this and I realized something. I can relate to Monique a lot. I can. A lot of stuff she said, and I was like, you know what? I can relate to her a lot. I'll save that for maybe a uncensored episode and stuff like that. But I brought this up because I heard a lot of people talking, and I went on the internet and I seen a lot of people talking about Shannon Sharp's hosting style. Now I thought this narrative died when the Cat Williams episode did crazy numbers, and I thought people understood after he said he's not Ed Bradley, he's not Lester Holt, he's not Barbara Walters, he's not a journalist, he's an entertainer. Stephen A. Smith took it further and said he's a voice. It's a reason why, and Cat Williams told me this is the reason why people feel comfortable sitting across from him talking. You've seen this with all the smoke. We watched some of our favorite NBA players, including the late great Kobe Bryant before he passed away, go on all the smoke and give stories that they never heard before. We never heard before. Say things that they would never say before. Now, I've been on podcasts where I've been producing, and people will say to me, I never said this before, but I'm gonna say it here. And that's usually, that means you're doing a good job. Usually, somebody feels comfortable to reveal a story. I've done it on certain shows where, because when you sit in the guest chair, you try not to say the same thing, and that's one thing I'll say to young podcasters. Make sure you go out, do your research, listen to 2 or 3 interviews with the person that you're interviewing so you can either have follow-up questions or you're gonna go in a totally different direction. That way, you're not making the guests feel like, "Oh my goodness," because I hear wrestlers on the independent circuit say, "All these podcasters wanna say the same thing. How'd you start wrestling? Where'd you learn? Where'd you train?" And most of the time, the wrestling podcasters that they're choosing are the ones who are young in the game. And let's be honest, never done any type of school sessions, never done any workshops, never sat in the classroom, never really learned how to do the craft. And we see that a lot in entertainment as well. In the sports world, when they added Twitter Spaces and YouTube made it easier to upload videos, places like StreamYard made things affordable, and the equipment went from being, couple $100 to, 30, 40, 50, $60. Once this all became easier to do, we started seeing more people who are amateurs. Some people have a natural gift who never sat in the classroom. They just have a natural gift. They know what questions to ask. But then you have some people who don't know what they're doing. You have people in school who don't know what they're doing. So I saw a lot of people talking about Shannon Sharpe. So a lot of people saying Shannon Sharpe needs to learn how to, you know, bring the conversation back in. I saw a lot of people say Shannon Sharpe isn't really, he needs to learn how to host. And my answer is this simple. No, he don't. What Shannon Sharpe is doing is working for his audience. If it wasn't, y'all wouldn't tune in. You wouldn't. We would all love to have Shannon Sharpe numbers. And if you're telling me that you wouldn't let someone, and I'm talking to the people out there who have 100 to 300 views. If you're telling me that you wouldn't let somebody who has a lot to say come on your platform and it's going to boost your ratings, if you're telling me you wouldn't let them do that uncensored, you're lying. It's that simple. You're lying. Now, you may have a limit on what they could say. You may have certain things you won't allow them to say, certain words you won't allow them to use. But if you don't know, let's just say your favorite athlete comes in and they want to sit down and talk about somebody, and you don't have a relationship with the athlete that they're talking about, I almost guarantee you're gonna let them say what they want to say. Ken Griffey Jr. come in and let's just say he wants to talk all the stuff about Derek Jeter and all the reasons why he didn't go to the Yankees. Now, Derek Jeter isn't the reason. If you know, you know. It's the way they treat him as a kid. But you, if he came to me and said, Brian H. Waters, I want to come on breaking through glass ceilings, and I must tell these never heard before stories. Of course, I'm going to let him. Of course. So when people come out here and they want to criticize Shannon Sharpe, I just think the narrative is getting old. You either like it or you don't. It's either for you or it's not, and that's okay. I promise you. But to sit up here and tell this man how to do his job, I've even heard people say he's mid. I've seen it all. I'm not dropping names because, quite frankly, I see so much of it that one, I don't care to go back and see who um, but I also know that, like, I've seen so many of the same things. I will say that these are usually coming from people who pod themselves, not the consumers. The people who consume a lot of media, who've never been media trained, they don't care. And that's guess what? I tell people all the time, your audience isn't other podcasters. Your audience is people who consume podcasters, you know? I would never I would never expect a lot of people who also podcast to be in my audience. And this is why I tell other podcasters when you're starting off, you get that person who like your show and they really enjoy it. That doesn't mean they have to come on and be a guest. Some people, yeah, absolutely. And then this might be uncomfortable, but look, this is the truth. Some people need to stay in the audience. You don't see players in the NBA welcoming all of us to come play in a celebrity basketball game. There's no such thing as a charity night where we all can just go in and play basketball. No, you need to have an audience. And that's who you need to cater to. Shannon Sharpe caters to his audience, not other podcasters and media people. Those people are going to come because they're going to either do their research or they like Shannon Sharpe, you know? So that's how I feel. I'm gonna take a quick break. But afterwards, I'll be back with some more stuff to talk about. I've been away for a week, but got a few things to talk about. So I'm gonna take a quick break.
Everyone, it's me, Queen PR, one half of those wrestling girls, and welcome back to another episode of Where Wrestling Meets Pop Culture. And this is the show where you find out who the current Up Down champion is. This is not the show where we speculate when Mercedes is returning to WWE. This is not the place for rumors and innuendo. This is the show where you find out where all your wrestlers are up to outside of the ring. One of my favorite couples, Bianca Belair and Montez Ford. We knew that Bianca and Montez were filming a reality show with Hulu. I just have to have a moment for the It family.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you in the gym every week? Are you looking to kind of keep yourself cool while you work up a nasty sweat? Well, I got the best thing for you. Cooling bands, bandanas, cooling towels, and so much more. Go to Vertical Athletics, get your favorite team in MLS or MLB, or guess what? Now they have a custom option so you can upload your own logo and you can save 10% at checkout when you enter the code Brian H. Waters. Go to verticalathletics.com, use the code Brian H. Waters to save 10% on some of your best cooling gear. And I'm back. Y'all see, shout out to Vertical Athletics. I had to throw on a headband today. It works perfectly when I'm in the gym, but also when I just want to keep my hair out my face. Shout out to my sister who does it. I need a touch up soon. But definitely as WrestleMania season's coming up, I gotta figure out how I'm gonna style my hair for WrestleMania. I had a style for the Royal Rumble, mainly because I wanted it to look different. And so I got to figure out WrestleMania. But also want to give a shout out to Title Tuesday as I record on Tuesday. Shout out to King Coley. Um, I gotta get on a Coley's corner. Yeah, he's asked me to come on the show. So I just gotta make sure all things are in order on the stuff that I'm working on because I gotta make sure I give that show 120% of my attention. I don't want to be like, all right, I gotta rush and do this. But yeah, shout out to Coley, the guy who created the hashtag Title Tuesday. And because of him, we share our belts, and when we share our belts, usually it helps your followers go up. So make sure you shout out Coley Tuesday if you're a belt collector like me. Hashtag Title Tuesday, tag King Coley, and I promise you the numbers will go through the roof. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get uncomfortable here, and here's what I mean. I was on the Shade Room and I was on Instagram and I was on Savvy Amusings, one of my favorite comedians that I follow. He tends to do voiceovers and it's always funny. The first time is about a year ago. I was on my way to my best friend Trika's house and I saw his video and it was doing a voiceover of The Last Dance and it was Michael Jordan's voice, right? And he was, he changed the words to like things that we believe they'll say. But I saw something about Shaq and Ice Spice. And then my question to y'all, Shaq was talking about Ice Spice is fine. And if Ice Spice, whom I believe, whom I've just confirmed, born January 1st, 2000. January 1st, 2000, right? Shaquille O'Neal was born March 6th, 1972. He's 51, she's 24. Now, if you know anything about the Lakers on January 2000, you know that they were en route to their first NBA finals. Matter of fact, January 4th, 2000, 3 days after Ice Spice was born, Shaq and the Los Angeles Lakers defeated the Clippers 122-98. Shaq had just dropped 38 points with 15 rebounds to Kobe Bryant's 29 points and 9 rebounds. I felt that was very uncomfortable. Now, I understand both are adults. I know there are people who do 10-year relationship differences, 20 years. It's weird to me. It's very weird. As a 37-year-old man, you know, I mean, Ice Spice is 13 years younger than me. Yeah, no, too young. I remember one time I was with my cousin Addis, and he was about 42 at the time, and he told me, yeah, his age limit was 30. And he said, I can't date nobody that's, essentially young enough to be my daughter. And I saw people in the comments say, come on, man, you nasty. You nasty, bro. Like you was 20 something, almost 30 something when she was born. So I had to bring it here, and I wonder, what do people think? How do y'all feel? Because me personally, no, no, sir. I think it's disgusting, but and people say he was shooting a shot. Maybe he was just admiring her, maybe admiring that she's pretty. It was just giving me creep vibes. But that's my opinion, and I'm interested in yours. But speaking of relationships, Marcus Jordan and Pippen has reportedly broken up. It was announced, and I saw Mace. I saw Mace say that she wasn't Lori Harvey, and I thought that was crazy. Um, I'm like, bro, why would you say that? Like, why? But what's so interesting, I don't think anything has really come out yet. But they was, dating for over a year, and we was told that they were happy and they were gonna get married. We saw a video of Michael Jordan, looked like I think believe it was TMZ Sports. It was a reporter, went to Michael Jordan and asked him, how do you feel? Do you approve? And he said no and kept it moving. But then Lars was saying that I mean Larsa, I said Lars Pippen. Larsa Pippen, excuse me, you know, said that everything was fine, and Marcus Jordan was saying he hoped that Michael would be his best man. But, the one thing is they deleted the, photos. She began to delete photos of them 2 and him off her feed. So they've gone separate ways. Now here's another one of them funky age differences. She's 49, he's 33. I think what a lot of people, because what made this so weird was you had Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, in my opinion, the second best NBA duo to Kobe and Shaq. But you had them 2 who were, you know, iconic. 6 titles for the Chicago Bulls. Jordan went on The Last Dance and said that Pippen wouldn't have won any of those titles without Scottie Pippen. Meanwhile, Scottie Pippen felt Michael Jordan didn't really respect him, and he didn't like the way he was perceived in The Last Dance, and he knew Michael Jordan had a lot to do with that, and Scottie Pippen took a lot of heat. Everybody had a lot of things to say about Pip, and I would listen to his book. Listen, that was one of the many books I read or listened to last year, and I think a lot of people, it's easy to gang up on Pippen, right? And I just thought it was unfair. And then when this happens, it's like, come on now, 16-year difference. Bad enough the father and ex-husband are beefing, and they felt that she was kind of embarrassing Scotty. So I don't know, but I hope they find healing. You know what I mean? I know that yeah, I hope they find healing. I know they was together for a hot minute. So, in October 15th, 2022, they was kept saying they're just friends. Then finally came out that they was together. So, but they have reportedly broken up. But speaking of 2 people who are together, Swizz Beatz and Alicia Keys. Now, did y'all see the halftime show at Super Bowl? Usher, Alicia Keys sang, and then they got up and danced together, and then the memes went crazy. This is your woman, and this is her work husband, and a lot of people saying had a lot of stuff to say, and finally, Swiss Beats went online and said, "Look, we're not going to address this." Pretty much, you know, these 2 just went out there. These friends, they went out there to create magic. This was amazing. It's no need to address the negativity. So, I mean, Usher has a dancing style. We saw all the videos, and we saw so many people, ladies, go up there, dance with him, and then their men take exception. I'm not weighing in on what I would do, how I would feel, because you just never know what it's like until you're in that situation. It's that simple. But I think speak highly of Swiss Beats for him to feel, say what he said and stick by his lady. Speaking of the Super Bowl, Jermaine Dupri, he went out there and he posted that, everybody had him effed up because, his outfit and how it looked like an Easter Sunday outfit. And the memes were crazy. I thought the memes and the commercials were better than the game, but yeah, that's because I'm a salty Ravens fan. I say that loud and proud. I am a salty Ravens fan. I wanted the Ravens to be there. This was their year. But guess what? There's always next year, something I've been hearing for years. But hopefully they go back. Hopefully they'll go into it next year and they go ahead, take care of business and win the Super Bowl. But baseball season's coming. I'm excited. I'm excited. I've been tapping into a lot of baseball content lately. I'm in the middle of listening to Buck's book. So he talks about his time with Fox and his journey through broadcasting and how, he talked about, covering the McGuire record breaking home run. I still remember exactly where I was sitting on my bed at 12 years old when he said, "Down the left field line, is it enough?" Boom, home run. Mark McGuire runs across, and I remember the next week, Ric Flair made his return, and Tony Schiavone said, "Mark McGuire hit a home run last week to break the record to become the all-time home run leader." And the announcer said, "You'll always remember where you were." Well, tonight, the Nature Boy Ric Flair makes his return to WCW, and you'll always remember where you were. Now, guess what? I ain't see that live. By then, we didn't have cable, so I ain't see Nitro. But I do remember there's a lot of iconic memories in sports that I can remember exactly where I was when it happened. Maybe I'll do an episode on that. All the memories I remember. But I'm looking forward to the Orioles season. Don't get shout out to Ryan Ripken. I've been watching his content a lot. He talked about he had Cedric Mullins on. They talked about Jackson Holiday. That's something I'm interested to see what happens. Will the Jackson Holiday make the opening day roster? We're getting ready for a fun season, Birdland. I'm excited. I want to see the Orioles go all the way this year. They gave us a taste. Now let's finish the story. Yeah, speaking of finish the story, make sure y'all tune into the wrestling shows I do this week because I got a lot to talk about as far as The Rock slapping the shit out of Cody Rhodes. Thought it was beautiful. But also as I get ready to wrap up, I'll probably have some Iron Claw content soon, or more so Von Erichs. It's the 40-year anniversary of David Von Erich's untimely death, and I'm going to share what I learned about the Von Erich that many say would have become the world's heavyweight champion. But, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me on this episode of Breaking Through Glass Ceilings this week. Make sure you subscribe right here. Share the show. I'm almost at 500 subscribers. I'm trying to reach there. I want to get this channel monetized. So help me out. I'm almost at 500 subscribers. Tell a friend and tell a friend. Y'all know the deal. Drop comments, likes or dislikes. I know I said a lot of stuff people don't like. So feel free to hit the dislike button because guess what? It still jacks up the algorithm, baby. But yeah, drop the comment, whether it's positive or negative. I read them all. Sometimes I don't get a chance to address them all, but I read them all. So for everybody out there, thank you. And remember, do not let anyone place a ceiling above your success. So long. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to support this podcast by wearing a t-shirt, whether it's the one that says Breaking Through Glass Ceilings or the one that says No Ceilings Above Success, simply go to foryourwear.com. Also, you can support some of your other favorite podcasts and content creators, including Those Wrestling Girls, Seahawk, and the Wrestling Club. And you can support some of your favorite independent wrestlers, including Jay Bougie, Trisha Dora, Chaz the Don. Shoot, all of Pure Ignorance is on there. So go on foryourwear.com, go under personalities, you'll find Brian H. Waters, and buy a t-shirt. And remember, I'll give you a shout out on the show. Podcasters and gamers, we all know it can be intense. We're talking, we're getting hype, we're passionate. Sometimes we need a boost. Well, you can get that by getting Rogue Energy. Rogue Energy is the #1 supplement for podcasters and gamers, and they have tons of different flavors, including Strawberry Burst, Tropical Breeze, and Cotton Candy. And you can save 10% by putting in the code Brian H at checkout. So go to rogueenergy.com and enter the code Brian H to save money. Are you a podcaster who is looking to share clips from your show in the simplest way possible? Well, I have the best solution, and that's Opus Clip. Opus Clip allows you to take the link to your show, upload it, and then they will clip off some of the best moments. And it allows you to edit it, change the captions, change the colors, and they also give you a viral score so you know which clip can potentially generate more buzz for your show. So if you're looking to do that, click the link in the bio, sign up for Opus Clip, and go viral with some of the best content from your show.